Lock up everything and leave. Lock up everything and leave, because if you are not ready to fix things and move with the godly things of God, godly things will not move to you. I don't know who God want to speak to today, but if this message reaches you, there's something that God want to break down to you. The road you're going, there's no safety there. The direction that you've just taken, I can tell you for free that there is no safety in it. It's okay to say, I want to win. It's okay to say, right, I want something, things to change in my family. It's okay to say that, but are you willing to say, let me not put my hands on romance with sin? You know, there are many things we do so many times that look so little, but these things that look so small are the reason why we're still small, are the reason why we are not progressing, are the reason why the light of God is not touching our lives. God does not open a door for a sinner, for someone who is not ready to choose the path of righteousness. And if you are not different, there's no way godly things can move into your zone. In trying to manage your life many times, to build your life, you know, we get to say that this is my life, this is my home, I want to manage this life the way I want. But in trying to manage and protect that life, many times you lose it. And that's why many people cannot just win, because they just go to church to be born again, but they are not born. It is only a person who is born that can be born again. If you don't live that life, there's no way you can live with that life. And you don't practice it. It's something that Christ has to put inside of you. And the only way Christ can put that life inside of you is when he sees you're willing to manage it, to control it, to live that life. God doesn't give you a life that you cannot manage and live. God says I should not romance with, don't romance with it. And the darkness is getting too much in our lives, in our family today, because the godly people, the Christians who are supposed to share the light of the gospel, are not romancing with sin. We get to play with unrighteousness. And when God is, to correct us, to direct us, we feel offended because we have connived with unrighteousness, and instead of changing, we're getting worse. And at the same time, we're looking for blessing. You cannot live to live in a kingdom that you did not live to live in. It's pretty simple, and you can choose to turn this down, but I'm telling you the truth. If you're expecting any time to win, to survive, to succeed, you have to break this chain. Lack of discipline will make you live under life. And when you're not disciplined, you cannot move to God where you can win. David was able to conquer Goliath because he was disciplined enough to respect God's thing. The Bible says when a man lacks self-control, he cannot move with God. If you are not ready to let go, you will go to let go. God expects you to live holy. God expects you to be different. God expects you to be, to be righteous. God expects you to live a holy life. It's not hard. It becomes hard when you're not born, before you get born again. That there is no way God, Christ, can choose to give you the victory when you're not ready to leave the dark. The darkness must depart from you. The life of the world must, you have to break out and say, I don't want to continue this path that I'm going, that God doesn't like. It becomes hard when you're not living before you start living. You have to understand that when you're not living for God, you're living under life. When you're not disciplined, you are living under life. And it's going to be very difficult for you to see the light of God, because the light of God doesn't move with the person who is not disciplined, who doesn't have self-control, who spiritually is carnal. Physically, you are even dangerous. You have to say that this ugly life I'm living has to leave me. In order to win, you have to change. If you're expecting win, if you're expecting breakthrough, you're expecting growth in your life, you have to change to win. You have to leave the comfort zone of the unrighteous to win. I practice this. No man who is faithful with God that lacks anything. It has happened in my life. I gotta be unfaithful. And when you're unfaithful, you'll be seeing yourself walking, and everything, you will not even know what's happening with your resources, with your money, with what you've achieved. They will just be going. God expects you, who is looking for him, to dress in the way that you can see him. You cannot expect to move with God when you've not left the things that God expects you to leave. When you've not moved away from the things that God expects you to move away from. The life you're living. The things, the light that is shining that you think you are enjoying. You cannot have the light of God if you're not ready to live away from the things of the world.